Have you ever stopped to think that that strange dream with someone you've never met might be much more than just a product of your imagination? It sounds contradictory, doesn't it? How can an unfamiliar face stir up such deep emotions when you don't even know who that person is? Well, this disconnect between what we see and what we feel could be a sign of a true spiritual awakening, an invisible bridge your soul is building for a reunion that goes far beyond the physical. While the mind searches for logical and scientific explanations, the heart feels something different. A deep calling, almost like hearing an old song only your soul recognizes. And the most surprising part is that sometimes, those dreams aren't just dreams, they're preparations, signs, even messages the universe sends to get you ready for something transformational. It may sound controversial to those who only believe in what they can touch, but this is a powerful belief that has changed the lives of many who've learned to listen beyond appearances. If you've ever felt that strange sense of familiarity with someone you've never met, know that you're not alone. And here's the invitation. Come with me on this journey to understand why your soul might be showing you, through your dreams, a connection that defies time, space, and logic. What comes next may be the beginning of a true spiritual awakening, one that will transform the way you see love and the way you see yourself. 1. The mystery of dreaming about strangers. It's curious how, out of nowhere, in the middle of the night, we find ourselves face to face with a person we've never seen before, and yet, for some inexplicable reason, they feel strangely familiar. Sometimes it's a deep conversation, other times just a silent gaze that pierces through the dream. And the most intriguing part? When you wake up, that face doesn't fade like all the others. It lingers, like a living memory of something that never actually happened. It's as if something within us recognizes what our eyes have never seen. A subtle calling, almost like it's part of a spiritual awakening. Some say the brain is capable of creating random faces, blending fragments of memories with people we've seen on the street, in movies, or on social media. Science explains this quite elegantly. But there are moments when no scientific explanation can truly account for what we feel. There's an intensity, a warmth in the chest, a connection that goes beyond logic. And it's right there, in that space beyond reason, where spirituality softly whispers truths the mind can't hold. In these moments, spiritual awakening doesn't come from the outside, it rises from the soul's invisible touch. Anyone who's experienced this knows. Dreaming about a stranger and feeling there's something deeper behind it is like receiving a letter from the universe before it's even been sent. As if the soul is trying to remember something the body hasn't yet lived. One woman shared that she had dreamed for years about a man with very light eyes, who would say things she couldn't quite recall upon waking. Until one day during a work trip she met him, identical down to the gestures. This isn't about coincidence. It's about connection. And that connection might just be the beginning of something much bigger to come. 2. Neuroscience versus spirituality. Neuroscience tells us that during sleep, our brain enters a deeply creative state. It reorganizes memories, recycles emotions, and even invents faces, blending fragments of real people with pure imagination. It's like having an inner film director, staging scenes that often don't make much sense once we wake up. But what happens when the dream touches something deeper? When even after waking, the feeling doesn't fade. In those moments, no matter how much science tries to explain, part of the experience slips away, it doesn't fit into a chart or a lab result. That's where the spiritual perspective comes in. Not every dream is just a mental projection. Sometimes, it's the soul whispering. Science might say we're simply dreaming of random strangers. But those who've truly felt it know. Some dreams are infused with a different kind of energy. That touch, that look, that deep sense of being seen, all of it goes beyond logic. It's not hallucination. It's a vibration that rises from within. A spiritual awakening that defies reason with the softness of an invisible embrace. Think of a dream that shook you for days. That figure you've never seen, yet they seem to know you better than people in your real life. In these moments, the tension between neuroscience and spirituality isn't a battle, it's a bridge. While the brain tries to make sense of it, the soul recognizes. And recognition in this context is more than seeing, it's feeling. As if something is preparing you for a deeper connection, something your mind doesn't yet understand but your heart already senses. Maybe, in the end, it's that very blend of logic and intuition that lays the groundwork for a true reunion. 3. Spiritual belief. The soul can recognize another soul even before a physical encounter. Ancient and modern spirituality agree on one essential truth. Souls recognize each other. Even before the touch, before the glance, before any physical presence, there's already a bond vibrating in the invisible. It's as if that person's energy crosses the boundaries of time and reaches you through a dream, a feeling, or a shiver you can't explain. It's not the kind of thing you learn from books, it's something you feel, with a force that borders on the sacred. And when that spiritual awakening happens, the mind may try to doubt, but the heart never forgets. There are countless stories of people who, upon meeting someone for the first time, felt they were reuniting with someone deeply familiar. "I know you from somewhere," they say. But it's not a physical place, it's another layer of existence. Maybe a past life. Maybe a recurring dream. Maybe a bond that already exists on a subtle level. What matters is the feeling, that deep inner knowing that this isn't new, it's remembered. The body might tremble with nervousness, but the soul smiles. Because it knows. This experience can be intense. It's like finding the missing piece of a puzzle that's been incomplete for years. Even if nothing makes logical sense, the spiritual truth pulses from deep within the chest. When one soul recognizes another, it's as if the universe gives you a gentle nudge and whispers, "Pay attention." It doesn't matter if you haven't spoken yet or if you live in different countries. The connection is real. And the most fascinating part? It often begins in dreams, as if they're rehearsals for what's just about to unfold. For real stories, people who dreamed for years about someone then met them in real life. Some stories are so powerful they challenge even the most skeptical minds. One tells of a man who, since his 20s, had recurring dreams about a woman with dark hair and a peaceful smile. She always appeared during the hardest moments of his life, like a safe harbor in the middle of chaos. He never understood why, but she kept returning. Years later, after moving to a new city, he met someone exactly like the woman from his dreams. Same voice, same look. It was like watching a sketch come to life. What once felt like imagination, or maybe a spiritual awakening, was now standing right in front of him. Another story comes from a young woman who spent her childhood dreaming of the boy on the bridge. She said he would hold her hands every time she felt like giving up. Her mother thought it was just make-believe. But in college, she met someone who, while sharing his own story, described a dream eerily similar to hers. It was as if they had both been to the same place before even meeting in the physical world. Coincidence? Maybe. But there's something about these coincidences that smells like purpose. And true purpose rarely shows up by accident. These stories reveal there's much more between sleep and waking than we realize. When dreams repeat, when faces return night after night, something is being revealed. Something is being built beyond the limits of our ordinary perception. Those who've experienced it know, it's not about remembering the face clearly. It's about remembering the feeling it left behind. The presence. The invisible touch. Often, it's within the dream world that the soul takes its first steps toward a reunion that transcends time. And maybe those steps are just preparing you for something even greater. 5 signs that this person is your twin flame. Some connections run so deep they seem to defy all logic. The first sign you might have dreamed of your twin flame is the feeling of deep familiarity. It's not just chemistry or a sense of comfort, it's like coming home after being away for years. As if their scent, their energy, their gaze are somehow a part of your own being. You can't even explain why, but just being near them brings a sense of relief. It goes beyond attraction. It's the echo of an ancient story that your spiritual awakening is starting to remember. Another powerful sign is intuitive communication. You know that moment when you think of someone and they suddenly reach out? Or when you just know something's wrong with them even from far away? That's how it is with twin flames, like there's a soul-level Wi-Fi connection between you. Words aren't always needed because the emotions speak first. Many people even report physical changes, chills, sudden heartbeats, or unexplained pain, when the other person is going through something. It's as if you share the same emotional field. And if the dreams keep returning with that same energy, pay attention. Recurring dreams featuring the same person or the same feeling can be strong clues. Sometimes the face is crystal clear, other times it's just a magnetic presence you can't forget. You might wake up with your heart racing or even in tears, what we call an emotional awakening after the dream. And then comes the synchronicity, physical world coincidences that seem anything but random. Seeing their name, encountering symbols like 1111, or hearing songs that speak exactly what you're feeling. These are small clues the universe leaves, gently saying, keep going, you're on the right path. 6. Why do you dream about someone before meeting your twin flame? Dreaming about someone before actually meeting them might seem like a coincidence, but those who've experienced it know there's something much deeper at play. The soul, unlike the mind, doesn't need an address or a scheduled time. It moves ahead. And when it's about to experience a spiritual reunion, it acts first in the invisible realm. A spiritual awakening begins long before the body understands what's happening. It's as if the soul is clearing the path, preparing everything for the moment when the physical finally aligns with destiny. Many of these dreams happen during times of deep inner transformation. That's when the soul starts to heal old wounds, untangle emotional knots, and make space for something new. That's why these dreams sometimes come with pain, longing, or a strange sense of urgency. It's not always about the other person, it's about you. About becoming ready to recognize and hold the kind of love that transcends explanation. Maybe it's the universe saying, heal first, so you can finally receive what you asked for. It's a delicate but powerful process, essential for a true spiritual awakening to unfold. And there's more. Sometimes the one who initiates the call isn't you, it's the other soul. As if they miss you even though they've never met you. This can create a subtle magnetism that shows up as dreams, signs, or synchronicities. I've heard stories of people who suddenly felt a presence in the middle of the day, like someone was remembering them. And soon after, they met someone who matched everything they had felt. These dreams aren't random visions. They're silent conversations between souls that have been searching for each other, and are now finally drawing near. It's easy to ignore a dream, especially when it feels strange, out of context, or far from our everyday reality. But what if those very dreams are the first whisper of destiny? What if they're more than scattered images? What if they're signs of a spiritual awakening in motion? The soul doesn't shout. It whispers. And more often than not, it's in the quietest moments of the night that it starts to show you the way. The only question is, are you listening? Spiritual love doesn't follow logic. It doesn't obey human rules. It can cross lifetimes, dimensions, and show up in ways that challenge everything you've ever believed. So if these dreams are happening to you, if you feel a connection that you just can't explain, maybe it's time to stop doubting and start noticing. Meditate. Write your dreams down. Pay attention to the signs. A repeating number, a name that keeps showing up, a feeling that won't go away, none of that is random. It's life speaking to you long before you've learned the language. And if all of this made sense to you, maybe your soul already knows something your mind is just beginning to understand. So now I ask you, will you keep ignoring the call, or will you open up to something that could completely change your life? Let me know in the comments if you've ever had a dream like this. I'd love to hear your story. And if you want to keep exploring topics like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. Because what's coming next might just help you remember what your soul never forgot. See you in the next video.